Hi guys and welcome to Throttzone.com. This is Mohit Soni. What you're looking at is the 2025 Ducati Scrambler Icon for the very first time. This is the second generation of the Scrambler, so this is a big change. At the same time, it isn't a big change because the fundamentals remain the same, but what was supposed to change has changed, and it is changed for the good. Let me quickly tell you what the motorcycle has been all about, and as always, let's begin with the design. You see the LED DRLs equipped in round shape here. That look quite nice. It has the X shape on it as well, and of course this is the signature Ducati Scrambler look that we are used to. Typical front mudguard and the plastic and everything all around it looks brilliant. The fit finish quality looks quite nice. Surprisingly, this wire is rerouted from the front. Usually it stays at the back. Something Ducati is trying. I don't know whether that is a very nice thing or not yet, because this is a brand new motorcycle that I've just received, and so it has barely 100 kilometers on the odo. So I'm also getting used to it, and something I'm seeing for the first time on Indian roads as well. Really nice alloy wheels, very big 330 disc at the front, and the conic tank has been resized and reshaped to a certain extent to make it look new and fresh. With a dual paint scheme, of course, it looks quite nice. This new Born Free logo has come on the tank, and everywhere you look, fit finish quality is great. The paint quality looks fantastic. Even from far away you can't see the orange peel on it, and that is what really quality is all about in terms of paint. These are the grab handle scoops, sort of helping you move the bike or the pillion to grab onto. The new exhaust, of course, looks quite nice. Purist might like it or not, I don't know, but the overall aesthetics of the bike makes this exhaust look quite good. And the new smaller side panel here is the new addition to this bike, which makes it far more different than before. The nice big seat, the low seat height, all of it is really welcome. I'll talk about it while riding. And the number plate holder along with the mudguard over here. So that's that. Switch gear also has been revised to a certain extent. This bike gets adjustable levers, and the new handlebar here looks quite nice. It's sort of inward, and which I will also talk about while riding. The adjustable levers are of course great, really high quality, and everything fits really nicely. This is the new instrument cluster, which is sort of revised and not revised at the same time, because the fonts and the graphics and the colors are pretty similar to the big bikes in Ducati, but here it looks nice, playful, and a little bit too nostalgic at the same time, and that is what really Scrambler always is about. So happy to see that it is now being seen in the instrument cluster here as well. I like the fonts, graphics, colors. I like the layout. You get a fuel gauge now on the Scrambler, which is great. That is the mode button, which also acts as a turn indicator, but press it and you go inside the info, and then you press enter again, and as you can see, there is a whole host of things that you can adjust and select from this button here. And fuel indicator, level, range. So yeah, you have to keep it pressed, I guess, because it's not really responding for some reason. Even it's not going into sport mode, probably because it's a brand new motorcycle, and that is something that you need to be aware of. Get into the menu mode again, and you can see you can adjust the DRL, the display, the colors of the display, the theme of the display. Black, white, and auto is on offer, so it will adjust to day and night accordingly, which has been it's been doing whether I go inside a tunnel, and it's changing all of that. It's surprisingly asking for a pin code, so maybe it can take better decisions. Date and time adjustability, of course, is here. So as you can see, this button layout here and the response here is pretty good, and it's an easy thing to do on the move as well, but this will take take some time getting used to. So yeah, it has changed. The fuel gauge has changed. So when I clicked on the inside, it didn't do any confirmation gestures, but here when I come back here, I see the fuel gauge has now turned into the range. So that's actually quite brilliant. And let's try again with the riding mode. I just want to go into sport mode. It cuts into power mode when it says high and medium. So when I say high, it again sets me back. So yeah, but as I go out, it still stays in road mode. So this is something I don't know, because it's a new bike, you may not be allowed to go into sport mode, is what I can think is the best reason is. Apart from that, the switch gear is typical Ducati, very nice, very high quality. The key is quite simple, and the offset keyhole also looks quite nice. And yeah, you have big wheels at the front and at the back. These knobbly tires, as always, with the Ducati Scrambler, looks quite nice. And yeah, that's an 18-inch front, and as you can see, these are Pirelli MT50 RS tires, and this is the 17 at the back. So it stays true to the tradition of the larger wheel at the front and smaller at the back. So it is the best of both worlds to a certain extent. The reason why this is sort of a entry level bike from Ducati, and it is a scrambler because it needs to be both, because Ducati has heritage of an off-road motorcycle as well as on-road, and of course track as well. So this pretty much sort of is the best of all worlds from Ducati. As a small entry level motorcycle, they want to offer everything to the consumer, and then the consumers will decide whether they want to stay on the road, on the track, or on off-road, because Ducati now has fantastic off-road capability equipped motorcycles as well in their portfolio. So yeah, that's what the Scrambler is all about when it comes to design, features, equipment and everything. What is it like to ride? Let's find out. So what is it like to ride? Well, this is of course the 803cc engine making 71.5 bhp of power, 66 Newton meters of torque from a air-cooled engine, and that is something is also oil cooled at the same time. And this engine has been slightly detuned than before, so to of course probably meet the emission norms and all of that, and this makes it a bike that is still one of the best bikes to ride in this category, because it's an engine that is now much more smoother than before. Usually the Ducati engines are noisy and, let's say, sound rattly in the right way, of course, very pleasurable to my senses as well. So most of it is gone now. It is a far more smoother motorcycle, far more linear power delivery, and still maintaining the Ducati aspect to a very large extent. So you can't help it, and meeting all the regulations and emissions norms and fuel efficiency norms around the world. I think this seems to be a very good balance right now. It still has the character left to a very large extent. Of course, if you compare it to much older motorcycles, it's down by a good margin, but then again, I don't think it's a big problem. It still retains it's very largely true to its tradition in the way it rides and the way it feels, the way power is delivered and the way it moves. So it has one of the biggest power to weight ratios in its category. It has lost a good 4 to 6 kilos of weight as well over the previous generation. So performance is ample, character is brilliant, it sounds really nice for a Ducati, and the clutch is now much more lighter. It's a hydraulic clutch. The slipper clutch of course works really well. Surprisingly, this bike does not have quick shifter, but it has the cornering ABS on this bike, so that's actually a quite good move in safety. But quick shifter nowadays you see on smaller motorcycles as well, so you sort of expect on it on motorcycles like this, but for Ducati it's a much more larger cost worldwide, including India, so I think they're skipping it. What they've not skipped on is great brakes, really good Pirelli tires. Braking is fantastic. Tires, of course, I've just done, let's say, 100 kilometers on it. I'll put in another 100, and I'm pretty sure the tires are going to feel really nice over good roads and bad roads, which I've already see there is a very large potential. And even brand new tires on this bike are not deviating me from having fun or pushing it a little bit faster. So that is a very good sign that these tires are absolutely brilliant. And what is not that brilliant is the heat coming from the engine. This is something that has been the case with these air oil cooled engines. It was present in the old monsters as well almost a decade ago while I rode it, and this is something that maybe Ducati can fix by just offering a liquid cooled engine, but I think that is still some time away. But nevertheless, apart from that, heating seems to go away the moment you start pick up pace, and it is far more well controlled than before. So I can clearly tell you, riding it in the city, even in our choked conditions, has been great. I have kept pace as much as possible with the traffic, trying to go a little bit faster, and that's what is keeping me away from the heat. But when it's a longer signal, I switch off the engine. When it is getting really hot, you try to get used to it, but it isn't as hot and as crazy as it used to be a decade ago, is what I'm trying to tell you. So don't worry much about it. Enjoy the experience, and it's probably going to be a lifestyle, not your everyday motorcycle. So you will clearly be easily living with this motorcycle without any problems. I told you the brakes are good, the tires are good, there's nothing really wrong with them. They inspire a lot of confidence. The performance is fantastic. It reaches 150 kilometers an hour in no time, and most importantly, it is far more agile, far more responsive with the new inward handlebar to a certain extent. That has given it far more better ergonomics, much more scrambler oriented ergonomics, something that a lot of manufacturers are learning very slowly and steadily, that is actually necessary, so that riding with it on a daily basis also becomes easier, and not that scrambler has been always very much let's say ends up being much more like a cafe racer oriented ergonomics for scramblers is, and that is not the, not an ideal thing that customers like. So they're getting the proper scrambler ergonomics, which this new scrambler also gets from Ducati, and we're very happy to see that it is far more agile and nimble, and the way it flows, how it is an easy going motorcycle. It isn't demanding, and it isn't putting any pressure on you on any, or if you're on your any of your body parts. So that's actually a great aspect that Ducati's gotten the ergonomics right. Apart from that, I think 11.25 lakh rupees on road price in major cities is a good deal. It is slightly expensive than its rivals, but then again, the Ducati here is an absolute performer in terms of the way it goes, the way it moves, the way it handles, the way it brakes, and the way you now sit on it, and the way you can now enjoy this easygoing behavior of this scrambler. You can do a bit of trail riding as well. You don't need to worry about bad roads at all, even in cities. So that is what is the scrambler all about, and Ducati aces that aspect quite well with ample performance and really high quality all around with a good amount of features list. And it is a highly recommendable motorcycle in this segment. It has always been one, and you should go and check this out. And if you still have some questions, ask me. I'll be happy to answer for you as well. Until then, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.